Hey everybody! I think. Am I online? Hello? Hey everybody and welcome to the Bandite stream. My name is Cedric and welcome to the episode 17 or stream number 17 of Let's Make an Animated Short Movie in Blender 2.8. Am I live? I'm gonna refresh my live streaming page. Yes, there we go. Yes, hello, I'm live. How's everybody doing? Okay, so last time when we left off, we kind of had this scene going on, with the two running, and we see that we still had some issues, which I thought about how to fix, especially the boys' move. We still have a little bit of tweaking to do. But we're almost there. Then we can call the characters down. First of all, I noticed this going on. The outside of the eye is kind of popping out. It's kind of rotating with the wrong eye. So I should get the latest dog. It's this one. And I guess if I turn on my rig and move the eyes, yeah, there's definitely something going on. You can see here, if we go to solid view, yeah, it's popping out. And I think this is simply because this should be assigned to the right eye and removed from the left eye. And there, fixed. Now if we save this and we reload, so I'm in a new version just to render out a transparent one so I can put the dog in the thumbnail. Hey, thanks for the likes. Welcome to the stream. I'm gonna put in some calmer music because I'm listening to Star Wars battle music and it's like ah. Okay. Oof, yeah. Let's listen to yeah, to the soundtrack of the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. We just finished watching that and oh my god, it's good. I can recommend it to anybody. Like the Dark Age of Resistance. Oh, so many likes early in the stream. Thank you guys. But yeah, the Dark Crystal is definitely something worth watching. So if you now refresh this, this is fixed. Alright, so, but I looked at the boy. I noticed that kind of like his mouth goes to the mouth corner a bit too quick. And I think that's also a pretty easy fix. If you go to File, open Recent to, yeah, the final file of the boy. There we go. So what we find here is that if we Smart kind of works, right? Oh, let me just put simplify on here as well. There we go. So we can work a little bit faster. Once the mouth open, it shapes like this, right? And it's normal that it shapes like this. And we have two possible fixes for that. That if we check our bendy bones, so go to viewport display for entire rig, yeah, and go to B-bone. The bone goes like this, right? And we could go to the bone properties, to the bendy bones, and I think now not scale. We could use the easy ease in to make that better, right? So now if we look at it, it's a bit of a more regular smile, of course. Kind of push the mouth a bit too quickly because the mouth corners also have to kind of go backwards here. right? Also move this one up a bit. It kind of looks a bit more natural than what we had before. But of course, if you leave that on in edit or pose mode, I will first try to check if I can already put this on like 2 or something, or 2.5, 2.5 baby. So maybe already have that in there. So if we then move the mouth, it moves a little bit more natural. And I think that does a trick, yeah. Again, I'm doing a very extreme poses. So yeah, this already looks better. If you move the mouth corners up, pulls those muscles, now we have this going on, which looks a lot better. So I'm just gonna save this. We're gonna go here, so we still have the shape here. But if we save and then open it again, it should be more natural. I think I overdid it a little bit. So let's go in edit mode. Let's bring this down to 2, maybe. And this will just make the bendy bones on the outside bend more than the ones on the inside, which our lips do. Right? I'm just gonna save this, and file, open this scene again. And that looks fine. Look, now his mouth looks way more natural. Yeah, so that's better. So it doesn't do this V shape. Alright? Let's see how it looks in look depth mode. Yeah, looks a lot better. Alright. Yeah, so those are the 2 small fixes I still had to do. Let's see, what's the chat doing? Oh, hey everybody. I am first. Hey, Mr. Greetings, Mike. How you doing? Hey Shiva. Hey Manu. How are you doing? The camera seems working today. Yeah. So what I did is it still working, or did you just jinx it? Yeah, it's still working. So I plugged it into a different USB port. I put it in the back of my computer instead of in the front. So I think it's something with the connection with the USB ports in the front of my computer. So yeah, that's how I fixed it. So you can see my beautiful face again. So for the rest, I think we're pretty much done as far as we can be done. So the reason why we, of course, link this is you've seen the previous stream, and what I just demonstrated here is once we start animating, we can then, if we still see issues, we can pop to the final file of our dog or our boy, and we can very simply like adjust the rig a little bit, fix an issue. We don't want to change how things look anymore, because then it might look different in other shots. We might even make a new version of a rig just for a specific shot that if we need some movement to go a little bit smoother, we can do that. All right, so of course, one thing we still need before we can animate is the actual set. So we did do a block out of the set last time. So if we go in here, so we have the base scene here. Let's go here. Have we modeled anything here? No, this is the storyboard. There's nothing in here. Oh no, wait, there is. There we go. It was hidden. So now we already have a character here, but of course these are from older files. So we're just gonna take everything here and delete them. There we go. And we're gonna link the new versions. So we're gonna say link our final boy. We're going to objects, and then we have our boy up here, and then of course everything down here. And the reason I want to already bring them in is because I want to now we're gonna model the set and we're gonna shade this set, but at the same time we're already gonna try and do some lighting. and then see how everything looks, and then maybe review the shading of the characters a little bit too. Yeah, and then we're gonna render out just them in T-pose or just maybe a fast pose. And then see how the shot looks, and then maybe already do some compositing, so we have an early version of what it's supposed to look like. And then if we're happy with that, then like we can start animating. I mean, we can do these at the same time, but of course I'm only one person. Somebody did offer to so what I noticed is that the raincoat, because it's a separate object, is a separate link. So now I'm curious if I make a proxy of the rig, right? And I hide the original rig, and I move the proxy around. Did I? Oh, I hit the actual proxy. Okay, there we go. If it moves, yeah, the raincoat. Okay, so the thing, of course, you want to do is also simplify the scene to 0, 0. There we go. So we can move them out pretty easily. There we go. Of course, we want this. We want the position of the rig to always be on 0, 0, 0. This you can see why, because when I move the rig, it doesn't move the raincoat. But if I move the position here, it moves everything that is rigged to that. So it's not parented to the rig, but could parent it, but you know, just for demonstration's sake, we can keep it here. Right? And then if things seem out of place, I can just reset the position with Alt-G. Let me put on my screencast keys. There we go. Yes, that seems to be working. So we're also going to do the same with the dog. So link our last dog, refine. Yes, which I'm very fast gonna rename. I'm just gonna go in here and type this in. There we go. Let me hide my other secret project here. Let's call this underscore final. So we know that if we want to do some adjustments, we do it in the final file, right? So go to object, and of course the eyes, and that's about it. Link from library, right? Good. And then of course the same. We want to make a proxy. Good. Then hide the original. And then in the proxy, we're just gonna go and move the dog over here. Right? I'm just gonna more or less place him on the floor here. Same with you. There you go. So yeah. So now, so camera here. I'm gonna save this as 09. And this is gonna be our look depth test. So we're gonna develop the look of the short now. So we had a tree here, which was also linked. But I think, for the sake of everything going smoothly, I think I will append them. So these were linked, right? Yeah, so this is just a linked collection. There's also still have a storyboard here. I'm going to delete that hierarchy. We can bring in the storyboard later if you really needed to. Oh. Should probably parent this, right? So parent to. Oh. Did that work? No, it didn't. Okay, so undo that. Okay. Save file. So just that we, because we just have one set, right? So we can just adjust it in the look dev test. So we're going here. So we have our, I think that's the set hill modeling, right? Objects. And we have the tree. There's some other objects. I'm just gonna, because I think I forgot to name some things. It's not good. So yeah, we have our set-hill. We have our yeah, this one we don't need. That was the blockouts. This is one leaf, I think. Yeah, sure. I'll put that under the hill. I'm gonna call this set-leaf. Set-leaves. That'll totally not be confusing. And we have our sun, which one we don't need, right? So we still have our branches here, by the way, that we deleted last time because we were so sure that the tree was just going to be covered. But now that I see this, let's do another test here. So we go into our particles. We did this with hair particles, right? Yeah. So let's bring this up to, oh, if this is hair, can I then just make some children, some interpolated children? Yeah, that's definitely worth it. But then instead of doing this on the surface, because I think source, yeah, is on faces. I don't know if I put this on volume. Nothing. This is a volume, right? Yeah. Also, yeah, 0, 0, 0 is now the. Oh, we can pose them at the same time. That's nice. Cool. Blender 2.8 for the win. Of course, we want our. Oh, this is gonna go slow, isn't it? Does this have a modifier now? Is this still doable without a modifier? What's happening? That doesn't seem to work anymore. Why is this red? Oh, because yeah, the simplify is on. Okay, sure. So why are you not doing the thing I want you to do? This is a volume, definitely. Hair. Oh, because yeah, these are still hair particles. Okay. Yeah, so this is still gonna be on the surface of the tree. Okay, we're gonna test out two things. First, I'm gonna have no more children, right? We're going to look tab so we see what we're doing. Also, no, it is doing it. It's just not working with interpolated children. Okay, okay. Right, fine. I'm fine with that. Let's go to 5,000. Right. Because now, I don't know. The tree feels more filled up. It feels way more dimensional. Like if we go to, I don't know, add a sunlight. There's some cool Christmas tutorials coming up though, by the way. If somebody's interested in Christmas. Just let me pump up that light real quickly. I think the tree's leaves are way too big. Let's just, I have them selected, okay. So let's go hair length and decrease that. But we have to also, yeah, because we worked with the velocity, decrease the tangent, yeah. So we get smaller leaves. And let's put the amount to 12,000. That still goes smoothly. I mean, I know I sometimes give criticism to the performance, the fact that this still runs smoothly, like with an alpha on all the on all the leaves is pretty impressive. Yeah. I think I do want to do, because I used the tangent, I want to lower the tangent amount. So I might move this to 0.8, and then I want to put the z on -1. So that's the leaves at the bottom still point down, right? So this is just gonna globally say, oh, just drag them down with the z-axis. But I might put this on -0.5. Might increase the tangent again, because the tangent is just the flow. So it just follows the flow of the object, basically, more or less. And the norm is just gonna follow the normals. So if we want the tree to be more puffy, we increase that, right? I might, I am gonna make some, I already have, but I want the everything to be in the right collection, so see what's going on. What is a tree? Oh, there's, yeah, I'm just gonna call this sets and branches. I'm still gonna use them, but I am gonna make sure they're not so visible down here. I'm gonna fix it later. And you might fix it now, right? If we hide this. This is such a heavy object. I think this will go faster in sculpt mode, right? Just put the grab brush here, yeah. Wait, let me put off, turn off our symmetry, yeah. I'm just gonna do the grab brush. And I'm gonna make sure that the branches stay within what we modeled here. So that they don't stick out. Because they don't need that much, we're gonna give them a basic shader. I think we can give them the same shader as the tree actually. I'm just gonna check. It's called material 7. I'm just gonna wood. Okay, and now we can just type in wood. Yeah, so it's gonna unwrap very simple, but because it's not that visible, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's fine. If we put our leaves back, because you just see them, like, we're never gonna go really inside the tree, and even then it's like, it's fine. It's good enough. It's the 80-20 rule. So I'm already gonna give we also want to add some grass, right? But not too much grass. I want the grass to be rather short, not that long grass, because that will just complicate things with animating it. And it always looks nice if you make a flat render with just this tall grass and these nice beautiful patches, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do two things first. So first in the shading, I have to check if in my textures folder I have a texture that would suit us as a floor. It doesn't seem that way. I'm just going to real quickly go to textures.com. Let me pull up that website for you guys. There we go. Yes, and we want to go to, we just want to go to textures. Let's go to nature, I think, or ground. Let's go to ground first. No, that doesn't seem to be what I'm looking for. So nature, yeah, so grass will do, I think. Yeah, so I'm looking for kind of a ground that's already kind of has some grass on it. Something like this will do, definitely. Let's see here. It's fine. It's not gonna matter too much. Yeah, let's just grab this one. I'm just gonna grab the free one for now. All right, so I'm just gonna go grab that texture, put it in my textures. Yes, very fine. Go to textures.com for all your nice textures. Not sponsored. But do sponsor me, please. Oh wait, I'm totally not. What am I looking at? Let's go to text here. Yeah. And then I should have down with that T. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna pop this in the base color. Cool. That looks nice. The thing I could do is just unwrap this, and it's just gonna unwrap pretty fine. There we go. We could also use generative, doesn't really matter. We're just gonna scale it up so the fidelity is a little bit better. There we go. I'm just gonna change the sky of this so it's a bit more telling what's happening. Okay, cool. The only thing, I mean, I might go too far here, but I might just use a very easy bump to have a little bit of yeah, depth in that. But I mean, this might be more influenced by the pixels than something else, so let's just do a little bit. Roughness. Yeah, so the roughness you're not even gonna notice that much now because, oh no, there it is. Yeah, it's this is what I'm looking for, that the highlights kind of get dispersed a little bit under the grass, right? But then we move the roughness up, and it looks fine. And then what we might do is to go to color, hue, saturation, and then just I'm gonna change this later, but might make the grass a little bit more to the bluish side, saturated a little bit more. This is just to fit with the tree. Like if I look from above, this should kind of be, shouldn't be the same color, but it should kind of be in the same realm of yeah, it should look nice. Basically, one thing I also might do, because I still see a lot of flat leaves on top, is so we have our leaf here, right? And I think it might be beneficial if we just increase the 3D-ness of that a little bit. I'm not sure if I should extrude it to even cover up like down there. I'll just play with this, right? So we just have two planes under each other. Because that makes this a lot complexer. I'm not sure if that fixes the issue by a lot. It's just gonna generate a lot more weirdness with the normal. Okay, sure, let's not do that then. Let's just Control Z and okay. So now I gave them a little bit more 3D-ness to them. Maybe up top we just want to be a little bit better, the shape a bit. It's a bit of a random tree. I mean, we want the because we have this front shot, right? Okay, already. And that has to look good. That's our money shot, right? Here's our camera. Oh, didn't enable that. Okay. So we kind of want to align this here, and this has to look good. That's all there is to it. If this looks good, if the opening shot looks good, like color-wise and such, like it helps so much. Let's see here. So yeah, now we want to add some grass. I don't know. So we're just gonna add a plane that we're just gonna make something like this. Yes. I wanna a bit like this and a bit like this. And then we just want to duplicate it. Make one that maybe also rotates a little bit in 3D. This doesn't have to be overly complicated, right? It's just so we can have something to work with. All right. So we're gonna call this. Can I rename multiple ones at the same time? No. Grass. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it grass. And then the rest will be renamed automatically. There we go. I'm just gonna make a collection called particles. And then I can put my leaf in there too. So particles. Right? And then can I actually, if I go into, if I add a particle system here, right? A hair particle system. There we go, beautiful grass. If I say render path collection, oh, so these have to be in a separate collection. Okay, so I'm gonna add a collection, new collection, grass, right? But I'm gonna move the grass inside the particles. Okay. So now we can say collection, render as collection. Oh, instance collection. That will be grass. There we go. I'm watching this at 5 in the morning. That's how different our times is. 5 in the morning. Wait, let me guess where you are. That is Central America, right? Central USA. Hold on, wait. Right? Or Central South America, or somewhere in the middle of America. Could be Canada too, to be honest. And they're all in the same 3 time zones, I think. All right, so we have our grass here. The thing we kind of want to do now is select our grass, because just so that the standard, whoops, we rotated our entire set. That's nice. Okay, rotate Y and then apply rotation. No, that wasn't it. Right, rotate X. What am I saying? Wait, rotate C 90 degrees. Yes, and now they're gonna stand up straight. No, they're not standing up straight. Well, we could like change the parameters, but I like that by default they're kind of like there, right? Yeah. Yep. Ha. Nice. Doxing my viewers. No. So here we can actually put interpolated children in, right? Ooh, now this becomes kind of heavy. The thing we most probably want to do is, yeah, let's put the display of our children here. Is actually make a vertex group called density particles, and then just, yeah, go here, assign this, select the other vertices, and remove it. And then to vertex groups, density particles. So now these are going to be more centered in the middle. I think we can even go to weight paint. I mean, we can tweak this per shot even, right? We can even say, oh, in this shot we need a little bit more grass here. So we just save on yeah, resources basically. I want to go to shading, I guess. Yeah. Weight paint. Go to our tools and go like weight 0.3, and then like on the outside we're just gonna decrease the amount of particles that should be here, right? And we're gonna change some other settings that will help improve the amount of particles shown. So So now we see something else happening, is that they kind of are evenly distributed. So we also need to from our source faces, I think if we change that, jitter does something weird. Yeah. I think is it just more particles that we need? Yeah, I guess so. Ooh, that's so let's go to boy, right? These particles, what else can we do with them? Let's go to our grass. I think I made the grass harms a little bit too skinny, right? Let's go individual origins. Maybe a fit figure. Yeah. We'll see that the rotation now is a little bit weird. Okay. And a bit thinner again. But let's go edges. Let's deselect edges here, select this one, and now thicken this up without making them up too curly. Alright. Grass. So we kind of want cartoony grass, but you would need a lot of grass to make this like this wavy cool grass. But I just kind of want to make sure that we show that it's grass, right? We're just gonna phase them phase to 0.5, and we're gonna add a randomized phase of -0.5, or randomized phase 0.5. We can just go full randomized, who cares? I don't think we even have to phase them. No, it's just for other hairs. Okay. I'm gonna. Okay, so another issue we currently have is that these should move them up until they kind of touch the ground, right? Okay, there we go. And that already helps a lot, okay? But that doesn't look like grass. I don't know. We're getting there. I'm gonna give them the material. Good. Now we're just gonna make them green. Let's take the green here. I like that if you now click and drag, it will just take the median color of everything that you selected, so you can drag over the grass texture and kind of get a somewhere in between, if you get what I mean. Right? Cool. So kind of made the floor very realistic, haven't we? That's fine. That's fine. I'm just gonna decrease the hair length maybe. The hair doesn't really look very good now at the moment, doesn't it? Does it? Let's see here. Oof, that's a lot of grass. Yeah. Let's see here. How can we still improve this? We don't need to render out so many. Because I'm like. It starts chopping up from 10,000, yeah. Because man, just to demonstrate, like if we have 1,000 hairs and we go to simple children, it's gonna do the same thing, right? If we interpolate them to hundreds, that's somehow the grass we kind of want, right? Don't show overlays. Already looks better to some degree, but it's super laggy. I also think we want our grass to be a little bit flatter. Don't have it. Maybe that's gonna help a little bit. So we're gonna. Multi-segment, I guess. How can we? That's rotation, I guess. Yeah, normal tangent is the one I'm looking for, I think. Just normal. Or maybe not. Angular velocity, that's not gonna do anything, is it now? Ooh. My apologies. Also, I should check the chat a little bit more, shouldn't I? Where is the chat? Oh, there. Okay, nobody's chatting, but I'm getting a lot of likes. Thanks, guys. Do remember, if you have questions, just pop them in the chat. If it's about what I'm doing at the moment or I'm doing something else, then just pop that right in. I mean, from afar it looks good, right? Oh wait, I haven't got the. This is the hill material, like hill. I want to select my grass, right? I don't want to select the pin button, so I can select the hill, but still have the grass texture. So I think I want to decrease the specular on this, right? What we can do is maybe add a wave texture. And because of the way that we made them, if we use the UV, it should, if we rotate it, yeah, there. If we rotate 45 degrees, well, a little bit less for some reason, go straight down the thing, and then we can use a converter, color ramp, there we go, and then a vector bump. I'm just maybe gonna make the leaves a little bit more interesting. Right. Now if we increase the specular again, increase the roughness, what's going on? Hello? It's not updating? No? This worked. Oh, this should be in the height. Yeah, okay. There we go. So now it kind of has this thing in the middle. And we can just make this a B-spline, so this is kind of softer. Then we can, I mean, it's a bit choppy, but if we decrease the strength, it makes the grass a little bit more. So we should, I don't think I turned on smooth shading for these. Shade smooth. Yeah, that's gonna improve a little bit. I don't think I've selected all of them. Nope. And then shades mode. There we go. Yes. Pick random. Oh, this is a nice feature. Object rotation. Cool. So yeah, now the cross looks a little bit better. Can increase the roughness again. And put the specular on 0.4 or something. Specular tint maybe. To fake some subsurface. That's the only reason why you would use specular tint. We don't want to put subsurface on each of these leaves, right? You could do the same with the leaf here. Just if we increase this, you can see we don't want to increase it by much, but kind of improves the look a little bit, in my opinion. Like now they look like flat leaves, but if you increase the specular tint, there's a bit of fake subsurface going on. Because if we're gonna enable subsurface, it's gonna increase the render time by so much. I mean, it's not real subsurface; it's super fake, but I mean, I'm not sure that helps. It just does something weird. Maybe just a little bit. So lighten up the shadow. So it has its uses. Okay then. Right, I'll admit my mistake. So I go from nothing to a little bit. It's a little bit more cartoony. There we go. Now scene is still kind of doable. Pseudo real time, huh? Right. Stretch out for a second. Have a drink. Keep hydrated, kids. This stream is sponsored by Being Healthy. I find this crystal clear water. It has a very slight flavor, but it doesn't have any sugars or added stuff. It's just, I think it's literally like 99% water. Yeah. It has 0 fat, 0 sugars, and 0.01% salt. So yeah, keep hydrated, especially if you're working. It makes your brain not go into ouch mode. This is, by the way, the leaves, right? So I want to go back to our grass, pin it down. Whoops. Let's see here. Maybe do want to make the grass a little bit darker than the floor. Maybe not. Like we barely want to see it. I might still like decrease the length. Yeah, it should be. I want it to be there very subtly. Like, I don't want it to pop out. I don't want like people seeing. Oh, but there's a couple of leaves here. We don't want that. We don't want that. But like if you have some silhouette like next to the tree and stuff that you kind of see, oh, there's grass there. Or we go the totally opposite way and do make it super obvious that there is grass, right? Just want to be careful that it's not intersecting with our boy. Or boy. And we could have like realistic grass in there, but let's see. Let's go back to interpolated. Let's go dirty. So have these weird waves of glossiness. I think that's mainly because the sun is so low. Yeah, this is better. Go just a shaded view, right? What if we give them some surface in the same color? Nothing. Okay. Well, it's just not gonna work. Let's see here. What's the problem with you guys? Okay, I see that there's one particular, the short one, has some normaling issues. Is it ambient occlusion? How do we fix this? Oh, thanks for the likes, guys. Getting a lot of likes today. Cool. Sweet and awesome. Do we have like, what are these things doing here? Why are they nearly invisible? Something weird going on. Pick random. Should we, what's it called? Can we display as? Yeah, okay. Can add some brownian to make it a little bit more random. Put it on 5 if you want to see some funkiness going on. There's definitely something weird with the grass, right? And some... What is going on? Like in some places it's like... This is... Where's the weight painting? No, it's not that. It's not that. Huh. What's this? Let's turn off the children. Let's turn off the children. What's going on here? If I could put these on cardboard, that's greetings from Chile. Hello Pablo, how are you doing? This is great. Thanks for this tutorial. This will change my laptop and I will start with these amazing tutorials. Oh, that's so nice. Welcome to the stream, man. How you doing? I think we might want to make our grass a little bit thinner again. Like this. Yeah. These don't have any normaling issues. Huh? Okay. Let's see here. Length to 1.2. Oh yeah, and, put this on. Yeah, 0.5. Actually, make this longer again. There's something weird going on. Oh man, I think I want to do here is it's not this, no. Where is the size randomness? Scale randomness, here we go. There's this weird thing going on. I turned something on earlier that... Oh, there we go. Now it's more evenly distributed. Okay. Turn them small again. This starts to work a little bit in my favor. Good. I'm gonna reset the color to be a little bit, yeah. Just gonna pick it here. No, wait, because I color graded it. Let's go here. Change. It's gonna be somewhere. There's gonna be a sweet spot for the color somewhere. There we go. And maybe we want to add some noise to the color, right? So we're just gonna go color. What am I saying? Texture, noise. And then we can add vector from instancer, right? Normally, let's go down to 1. No, that's not working. Convert color ramp. Hello. Object. Yes. Yes. This doesn't work. Okay, cool. Cool. We'll just do it this way. Doesn't really matter. Let me just do color. Mix RGB. Good. We add this to our color 1. Multiply this actually. Now it's just gonna get a little bit more random. There we go. Cool. Very cool. Hey Vikas, how are you? I'm good. How are you? Yeah, I've been fabulous. Thanks. So, I kind of want to make 2 versions of this. I'm first going to add this to 2 and keep the display for the children on 20. I'm also going to change the render amount on 40 just to have a little bit more, but not too much more. I'm going to add another particle system. I'm going to select the first one again. No, the first one here. Yes, and I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm just going to call this grass tall. This one I'm just going to call grass short. Alright. So we should probably call the other one leaves. I don't know what this one does. Okay. My Blender is lagging. What should I do? Buy a faster computer. Sorry. No. What are you working? I mean, are you doing heavy stuff? What are you doing at the moment? Are you sculpting? Are you shading? I'm just here and there gonna add bigger grass, a little bit random. Now our grass, I mean, I guess I should just gonna call up 2 node systems here. here I'm going to select this. I might want to increase the size of the texture here. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Don't want this to distract too much. You might even this is the grass, right? So we might even say go to in weight painting. Yeah, now you're weight painting on a very high poly model, because that might that's not too optimal. Because yeah, weight painting on if you have a lot of vertices, it can lag up a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I want to add a mix RGB here. I'm gonna duplicate this and this. And I'm gonna mix it with its own texture, which might sound weird. But what we're gonna do is actually scale down one of them. If we mix them between the two, create a little bit more less tiling. And then the last thing I want to do is add the grass green to the texture, so that it's a little less realistic. It just has this fine texture to it, right? And then if we go to our grass, it's still kind of like a little bit too saturated, maybe. A little bit too light. There you go. Kind of want to have that blend in with the floor as much as we can. We still have this weird specular here, so I might add the specular tint. Oh no, wait, that's the shader. Thank you, Nat. You're welcome. I mean, I'm just gonna decrease the specular maybe. The noise is really bothering me, because I just wanted different. I'm just gonna decrease the detail, decrease the amount, and maybe put it on color burn instead of so it doesn't become like this murky black, right? Then just ever so slightly realize that you made a terrible mistake. Put it on B-spline. Yeah, I'll just have a dot. It's over here again. Yeah, like this. Yeah. I actually don't want to turn down the specular, because there needs to be some. I just increase the roughness so that ever so slightly it sometimes just has a weird thing going on. It's kind of weird. It's probably because of this, right? You can increase the strength of this actually. Oof, that kind of look weird from the back. Ooh, that's not good. Yeah, didn't think that was an option. What if the strength is at 0? What if you just added some noise instead of... What if you add some noise? Put down the scale. Oh, no, it's down. This becomes a little bit less of a problem. Second particle system still uses the same. Oh no. Okay. There we go. This is a little bit better now. So I'm really liking the silhouette it's creating here. Right? It's subtle. It's there. If we have like close-ups, kind of works. But the shader, oh man, I'm not happy about the shader. I just pull off the roughness full and the specular on 0. What am I adjusting the subsurface color for? Just adjusting the color. Yeah, this is fine. I'm kind of liking this. So it kind of disappears when we look from above, which is fine because it looks like grass. But then in the silhouette, we have some nice silhouette in grass here, right? And if we move close, kind of can see some grass here and there sprouting up, which might be bothersome. But then for those scenes, we might actually just choose to increase the grass so it looks a little bit better. So it's gonna look like 40, but like for the close-ups. I'm just gonna save this real quickly because this might crash on me. I'm just gonna check. OBS doesn't have a problem with me calculating this. But if he increases me to 200, it might be less bothersome because you see a lot of them, right? Oh boy. Let's go back to 20 before my computer crashes here. Alright, so another thing you want to do, right, is I kind of wanted to sculpt this, but I think we can get away with just modeling this a little bit. I kind of want the tree going into the ground a little bit smoother, so I'm just increasing the last part of the hill a little bit. That looks fine, I think. Yeah. And another thing we can do to increase the realism of this, if we go to our wood here, right, and then go to our, this is our texture here. Yeah. We might wanna go to texture. Let's go to gradient texture. There we go. We want to put this on generated is fine. Yeah. Just want to make sure that the bronzes are not. Yeah. Let's rotate this to 90 degrees. Right. The bronzes are a little bit affected, so we might make a separate shader. But what I want to do, is just add a converter color ramp here. Right? And then add a input or color mix RGB, and then the color we already have with the masked. I'm gonna put this on the bottom because white needs to just to be the color of the wood. Then I also want to add the same green somewhat, right? That first is going to look weird, but we just want to decrease the influence and increase it a little bit at the bottom. It decreases saturation a little bit, yeah. Oh. Do the scrolling thing again. Okay, there we go. And if you look at the shader, it's gonna blend in into the floor a little bit better. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Alright, doesn't look too bad. Looks like a hill. So, now, we want to add some lighting setup, right? You want to already test out the lighting, see how it works with the particles and the grass and the leaves, and see what we can do about everything within the correct lighting situation. So, most of the night is going to be clouded night with very little. And night lighting is kind of hard because you kind of need some extra source to silhouette the characters, but we can kind of fake the moon lighting a little bit, and that will look fine. Even though it's cloudy, right? Let's see here. So, let's go to rendered view. First thing I want to do is bring the light. So we're kind of still lagging here, right? And I think it's because still the grass particles might be a little bit too much. So I'm gonna put the first particle system, the children to 5. Yeah, and that's gonna increase us on random time by a lot. So I want to create some kind of silhouette light here, but from above. All right. Now we're gonna decrease the lighting amount. I'll make this light blue. Right? Just adjust it, and it comes a little bit more from the side. All right. Okay. I'm gonna place that light here. The placement of the light matters when you put on when you're doing it in Eevee. And then we want to go to light settings, shadow, and the clip ends we kind of want to increase until we reach the end of our. Want to turn on contact shadows just to be sure. This is our main light. There we go. Okay, now we want to kind of set the world lighting, right? We want to put this on dark blue, really dark. And we kind of want to create the clouds, right? So, how are we going to do? Are we going to do procedural? Hell yeah! So, we're going to try that procedural. I'm not sure what this is going to give, but I'm just going to... Oh, so that's not gonna work. Okay, but I'm gonna disable my characters and my set for a second. Oh, that's not moved in the set, and these are not in the character. Why are these not in the characters? Go on. Oh, come on, really? There we go. And you too. Come on, characters. There we go. So now we can just play around with the clouds here, and that'll be fine. So we want to put this on generated. It's fine. But we might want to. There's a thing for that. We want to put in the. Where is the The geometry. Yes. Okay. So the thing you want to do here is with the positions. This is just the position of the world, right? Is separate X, Y, and Z, and no, not combine. Come on. Whoops. What the hell did that do? And we want to separate X, Y, Z. Yeah. Okay. I want to grab probably the Z here. Yeah. I want to go to converter. We first want to add actually converter math at 0.5. That's fine. Yeah, because we're just gonna need the gradient here. Although you know what, let's do it correctly. It's to 1. So now the bottom point is black, and halfway it's white. We need another math node saying divide by 2. Because the position in the center is 0, and then it goes to -1 and +1. And now we made it going from the bottom to the top from 0 to 2 with the add 1. And then with the divide 2, it goes from 0 to 1. So now the top is white and the bottom is black. I think that should be the case. Kind of lost where bottom is a time ago. Enabling this set doesn't work. Oh, that's great. That is just great. Where are my characters? Oh, because I was... So yeah, the bottom, if you look down, is black. And this is also kind of stretches with the window. But that's not a hassle because... yeah. So, then we want to add a color ramp. And we kind of want to do this. There we go. Alright, so that we just have a black stripe on the horizon. So now we can already use this to like change our horizon a little bit. But the first thing we're going to use it for is for the adding it to the vector. So we're just going to do this. We're just going to add it straight to the vector. What this is going to do, normally, if I did this correctly, which, oh man, they're moving. I guess we should use the normal then, huh? Oh, that's still how can I grab the so it shouldn't move if I do this, but it does. Okay. No, it's the true normal. Is it? No, I don't think so. It's still yeah, although I think it's a true normal that we need. So I'm gonna do this again. So I think this should still work, right? Because this is yeah, this still works. And I think like if I do this now, this shouldn't move. Oh my god, it still moves. But if you want to be able to pan the camera without without the clouds moving, right? Can I just use... No. Oh, if I move the camera, this doesn't move. Alright. Oh yeah, it does. So what do we use for this? Huh. Object info. What does location do? Nothing. Tangents. That's just gonna be the same, right? Ah, doesn't even do anything. Because it's a tangent. I guess. Eevee map doesn't exist. Okay. Oh, I might just use a texture coordinates, of course. Because these are, yeah, these are absolute. Okay, cool. Just use that. Okay, so we use the texture generated. Okay, I think this still produces the same. Yeah, let's see if that works. Yeah, so this is locked. Okay, this doesn't move. So, because what this is gonna do, in the middle, it's gonna stretch out if we... it still does this a little bit weird, right? Because we kind of have to tweak some settings. But it looks like, basically, what we want it to look like is that the clouds are on. If we just improve it a little bit, there we go. Kind of want to create the idea that the clouds originate here and go off in the distance. That's currently not the case, right? Principled volume to the world background could work, or it's only if you can't put a... Well, you can put a volume, but I mean, we're not going into the cloud, so we don't need to have volume in the clouds, because we're not going to use the clouds as a volume. We want to use the volume later to add some mist, sure, but we'll get to that. I guess we kind of want to add this to one of the coordinates. Yeah, this is again playing around with vectors. Yeah, I want to combine them again. Combine X, Y, Z. And just plop this in here. Forget about the mix one. Right, X, Y, Z. Right, and if my guess is right, we should play with the Z one. So we're just gonna go convert them off. And we just want to add this value. Well, I don't want to add it. Just want to check what it does. And this is still not what we want. Let's just go over the operations. Let's subtract. No. Multiply. No, I actually want this. Oh, okay. Yes, this goes a little bit into the direction of what we want. Yeah. So now, if we move this, oof, there's creepy stuff going on. So this looks like, I'm just gonna annual my set for a second because I do want to see how it looks with the set. Okay. And then now what we'll do is add another color ramp that has the same value as this. Put this in position 0.5. I'll preview this one. I'm gonna make this one black. So now we have the horizon. All right, and then with what we made the clouds here, right? Just gonna call let's call this yeah, let's just frame them. So I'm just gonna go group layout frame, and then select these, select the frame, press Ctrl P, and then this frame we're just gonna call horizon. Label horizon. Okay, so this will just gather horizon, right? And then this part, yeah, sure. Can we just press Ctrl P? No. Layout frame. Right, and then call clouds. All right. So now what you want to do? Oh, we also want to add this one, right? want to add this to the color of the background. Although the viewer will do this for us, so we don't really need it. And then we want to go input color, mix RGB. Yes, there we go. And we want to grab the color ramp. There we go. And we want to put the clouds in the lower one here. So now, let's see here. Let's make this black. Now we kind of have clouds looking like they. I think one thing we want to do here is maybe change it to be to linear actually. This is gonna look fine enough. Kind of looks weird. So it kind of looks like. I think this looks better. Just move a little bit here. Of course, you want to move it below the horizon. What's going on here? I want to increase this value. I think that's gonna work. Yeah, there we go. I think I want to not to 1, but yeah, there. That looks fine. Maybe just a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Now we have clouds going off in the distance, and now with this one we can kind of change how the clouds look. Right, add some detail. Of course, we want to add some volume to this, or add some separation to this. So, hey, string fairy, all thanks to you. Oh, glad I can help. I'm just gonna look up storm clouds on Google here. I'm gonna look up some nice clouds here, because we are gonna layer this a little bit and stuff. Somebody made a hunky hunk. I think using this to reference my two. We might add some distortion actually, but not much. Because now we kind of want to, with that factor, start playing around with the noise. So we can add another noise, and we can add these two together to add some noise to the noise, right? If that makes sense. So we're just gonna go in here. I'm gonna see this distortion here, but I'm gonna also scale it down. Maybe scale it up until we have a little bit more of a cloudy texture. Right. Looks good. Didn't I disable the Streamlabs? So you spammed some symbols. I guess you spammed some smileys. I'm sorry. But Eevee has this being. Let me check that. I thought I disabled that. I disabled it. We can spam symbols now. There you go. By default, it has some like very strict, yeah. How do you say? Things it doesn't want you to spam. I kind of want to, and we'll kind of make the class a little bit bulkier. Maybe bring this down back. Yeah. I just want to play around with the color, looking at reference. I mean, I think the darker parts are mostly a little bit bulkier, so I'm just gonna get one here, darken it. increase this. I mean, you can go funky with this, right? You can add one here, maybe. Who knows? Let's see where this goes. Put this one in the middle, make it darker. Maybe this is too light. I think I kind of like what I had earlier. Yeah. The thing is, like, we could also maybe even fake the fact as to where they are pointing. I'm not sure if that's gonna... If you put this into a bump, right? It's gonna work. Let me save this. No, it doesn't. Of course, there's no bump. I just want to create the normals. If that makes sense of what I created here. Normal map. That's not gonna work. Should just work with a bump, right? A bump map. Because I don't want to add a bump map to the environment. That doesn't make sense. But I just wanted to create. Oh, there. Yeah, it works. Cool. So I'm gonna try here. Yeah, this is gonna be a big tree. Let's actually go convert and separate XYZ. Right? Because maybe this makes sense, maybe it totally doesn't make sense. What I'm gonna do. I think it doesn't. I'm just creating more noise that I can't blur out. Oh yeah, no, I'm totally creating something unnecessary here. I think I just wanna... I am gonna go into my render settings to color management, and I am gonna already go to high contrast because I kind of want to have more contrast in this one. And I'm just gonna change some settings here, right? Maybe increase this. Maybe there should be less distortion. Some more distortion in the vector. Maybe not. Maybe the scale up or down. Just like, so it kind of looks like clouds, right? Like storm clouds. These clouds are just noise. I think we want to add another noise texture to this. With just a clean vector, right? Mix them up. Why are you putting this all the way here? Put this one in here. I just want to add this to multiply. Just gonna disable the set again. Yes. Then this one I'm gonna scale down. Ooh, yeah, this is something interesting now. But it is dark, right? I notice on a lot of these pictures that the highlights are actually... I do want them to be there. Come on, where are you at? There we go. Come on. I mean, what we already can do is add another color ramp for the actual colors to be in there. And then we can go from well, let's go very dark blue, right, to a somewhat lighter blue but with green tints in them. So we're just gonna go, oh come on, like this. Right, just gonna push it. I'm just gonna keep adjusting this until it looks like I want the highlights a little bit lighter. Can already check the environment here. Yeah, we want this still to be in the. I kind of want to push this to the horizon so that we see more of the clouds. Right. Maybe even push it a little bit down so it disappears into, yeah. And this just becomes the horizon. There we go. Now there's a little bit too much swirl going on, right? It looks too much like somebody waved through it. I think that's the distortion here. Maybe I want to decrease the size of this. Okay, distortion here to 0.5. Increase this to 5. There we go. This starts to look like something. Maybe add some distortion again. Just a little bit. Maybe it's a little bit too flat towards the end, so I'm just gonna add a little bit to the horizon selector here. All right. Just gonna add this to B-spline. I'll try this to be a little bit smoother. Because I mean, you just look at it and be like, yeah, those are clouds. Now we can check with our set. This is now added to. You can also increase the strength if you want to. So 1.5 maybe. It's a bit of a cartoonier look. All right. Now we want to add some things to the actual render settings. So we want to add an ambient occlusion and maybe add some little bit of bloom. Could be nice. We leave the depth of field for now. I'm gonna add screen space reflections, definitely. We're gonna add some volumetrics in a second. But then we want to bake our indirect lighting. That was baked, okay. That didn't do what I thought it would do. Display device, sRGB. Oh, but it's a none. It's just linear, right? I would like to not do this in sRGB, but we can. I mean, our end product is gonna be in sRGB anyway, so. Because the view transform. That's a whole nother can of worms. So we want to kind of see how much what we want to use as an output, right? It's like no. Why is this not adding environment lighting? This starts to look pretty badass, if you ask me. But we want to add an environment lights, right? Oh wait, I know what I'm doing wrong. I need a reflection cube map for and irradiance volume for that. So I'm gonna add that. Gonna put that in the middle and turn on the radius till it covers about this much. It'll be fine. Fall off intensity 1. We'll all leave that there, and then we want to add an irradiance. I also want to add the distance that sort of encompasses everything. And then we kind of want to. That's just a symbol. Oh, I need to scale this one up. Okay, put the distance on 1. Let's scale this up. There we go. And now normally I should be able to bake the indirect lighting, right? Yes, so it's baking. It's gonna take a while. So that means time for a plug. Let me do this. Hey everybody. So welcome to the Bandai channel, where we're making a animated short in Blender in a limited amount of time, apparently. And I just want to say that I love doing this, and I currently have the time and resources to do this, and it's a real pleasure. But if you want to support this this streaming going on, and us as well, for me to make time to make specific tutorials, there's one coming up, so be on the lookout for that. Then I do need some support. The first thing you can do, which is absolutely no effort at all for you, is to like this video and subscribe to the channel and click the little bell button so you get notified. Also share this with everybody you know. Just spam them. No, don't bother anybody with my tutorials. I am so burned out at this point. It looks like I'm living in the desert or something, but it's not that bad actually. Another thing you can do if you want to support me, in the description down below, you do find the my Patreon. I just started to have a Patreon, and yeah, it's there to support what I'm doing. So if you want to support me more, do check out the link. Just follow the Patreon if you don't have any money that you want to put in the channel or something. That's fine. But if you do and you want to support me, do consider. It will be a great help. And plug. Yay! Poof. And thanks for all the goodness. Why is God outside your window? Yeah, that's pretty much. So I did bake the indirect lighting, but it didn't do much. I kind of hoped that it would give more of some ambience here. We are also going to add some background hills, by the way, but we'll get to that. So I don't think this does too much. So I'm just going to leave the reflection cube map. You know what? I don't think actually we also need that. We're just going to fake our way through it. So what we're going to do here... I'm first going to add the volume and see what that does to the scene. So we're going to go, this is really easy actually, because I had a lot of people asking like, how do you add volume? You just add a volume scatter, put it in the world volume. There you go, finished. Gonna take a while, there we go. And it's gonna make the whole scene like, oh my gosh. I want to put the density on 0.01 or something, even lower. Okay, 0.003. 0.001. Yeah, this is just gonna add, like if we get closer to 3 or farther away, Once we add the background hills, it's gonna add so much of realism. Let's put 0.02 maybe. And it just adds to this, yeah, what we want to achieve with this, of course. If you put on the anisotropy, what I gather from this is that the volume is going to focus more on where the light is coming from. So you can see that the light actually moves to the top left, and if I put it in negative, it moves to the bottom right. That's what that does. I kind of want to put it on 0.25, so it just slightly moves to where the light is coming from, right? It doesn't take where the light position is coming from, but you can see this if I add a point light to this, right? Where's my point light? Oh, there. Right, and I make it strong enough, so I put it on 1000 watt or something. And I play with the anisotropy. You can see that if I put it on 1, it's literally on the light, right? You can see that the little light here, the orange glow. It's not so much the bloom, right? The bloom adds to it, of course, but this is the volume speaking. But if I put the anisotropy way down, it's gonna be a way softer influence. And then the rest you can do with the bloom, I guess, if you have emitted objects. And you can kind of combine the two. That's what I always do. So let's say I do a cursor selected, and I add a UV sphere, right? And then I can, with the light, have a clip start, so it ignores the sphere here. But then, with the light selected, I can parent it to the object, and then once the object, I can go give it a emission shader. So, poof, make this orange as well, and maybe even put the value on 3, right? Now you have the two things. You have a bloom from the object, but you also have a light that kind of affects the volume, and that looks pretty. That looks really pretty. I'm kind of sad that I didn't have an excuse to put warm lights, because once you put warm lights in combination with cold lights, I mean, this already kind of looks very cool, right? I think it's a little bit more orange, maybe. But yeah, I didn't write it that way, so I'm an idiot. But that's like, I could make like a little fly flying around here. But yeah, that's something that doesn't exist. So you can see just the light here affects the volume. I'm just gonna remove that light. Yeah, Eevee is pretty fancy in that way. If you the thing I noticed that people that have experience with game engines and making things look pretty in game engines are a lot faster with making cool stuff in Eevee, because it's so much just cheating and just finding your way to make it look good, as opposed to finding the realistic way to make things look good, which would be cycles. And there's also people doing that in cycles, of course. But I think like if your end frame looks good, you've done a good job. It doesn't matter how you did it, because there's always this how to do everything physically correct. But how to do physically correct is a good starting point as how to achieve great visuals. Because every cartoony or stylized visual starts from a physical correct workflow, but then you just start layering on top of that, and just start cheating some visuals and making it look unrealistic but visually very appealing. I'm gonna respond to some messages real quick, and yeah. So, I still use 2.79 because 2.8 crashes for me. How does it crash for you? Did you download the stable version, like the latest stable version? Because if you did and it still crashes, then oof, maybe it's time for a new computer. So we still have our. We also kind of see that it creates some God rays here, right? So that's pretty. We can actually adjust some of that things to the volumetrics here. So we can add a start point, so we can maybe push that start point a little bit so that once we get closer to the tree, like this close, we don't actually see the volume being too much affected here. Right? Or maybe push the ends closer, but it doesn't do much. Because it's just gonna be less volume. Take 100 meters good, and then maybe as a start, we put 20 meters. That'll make everything look a bit nicer. Because 20 meters, like even if it's misty, then because this is gonna be the shots, the most of the shots are gonna have this visual. If the rain falls, of course, it's not gonna be that foggy. Now I'm using a stable version. My computer's from 2009. That's 10 years ago. Well, yeah, what you gonna do? Yeah, well, do what I did and get a summer job and save for a new computer. It doesn't cost that much. Like, if you're old enough to do a summer job, of course, but or if you already have to sustain yourself, of course, it's a bit harder. I don't want to assume that you're kind of like a kid or something. But yeah, if you save up enough money, like I think a high-end computer where you can do lots of stuff on, you can buy for like €1,000 or $1,000 or Canadian dollars. I don't know what the rate is for Canadian dollars, but we move our light here. So now everything starts to look really pretty, right? Now we can go back to the particles, for instance, and see like that I may want to create more of that. I still see some floating leaves, and that silhouette is not quite there. You can of course check back, because now we have the volume going on. Right? Go back to faces. Maybe decide that we do like this look more. That's a bit more of a. It has a bit more of a shape now, right? So it's a bit choosing between this look, or this look, right? And I'm like, why not both? So what we can do actually is go to a real low. Well, not maybe that low, but go like 3,000, right? And then just so these are leaves. Then I have another part, some leaves. I'm gonna duplicate that one, and I'm gonna say leaves outer. And on this one, we're gonna put on the faces, right? And we're gonna put this on like 6,000 or something. And now we have both. Like now we have leaves in the middle, and we can maybe increase. These are still on 3,000. Let's put these on 5,000. And maybe even like let's put this on 3,000, but maybe increase the size of those, right? So let's go to the normal here, or go just to the scale and increase the scale of that, right? So that we have some fake leaves in the middle. And these are a little bit big here. We could even, what we even could do, right, is duplicate this, select the faces and medium point, press Alt S, and just with Shift we can make it smaller, right? And then this one we just leave the leaves particle, right? And on the outer one we delete the leaves out of it. And then yeah, selecting the inner one is going to be a bit of a hassle now. And then we can just maybe even add some Brownian so that they're a bit more randomized. We don't want to create them too big, because if you see one and it just sticks out, it's way too big. Yeah, of course we're not. Maybe we want to decrease this all a bit. Let's scale it down a little bit. So that's just on the border of those branches. Like here we kind of see that. Kind of want to lower that a bit, but that's fine. Yeah. Let's see here. So set leaves. I'm gonna call this center. And now I just want to make sure. I want to move this one up so it blocks more from the top than it does from the bottom, right? And you can still kind of look through it. Let's go to look depth view for a second. Yeah, and just playing around. Let's push them a little bit further to the edges. I do want to have them here a little bit more. There we go. Maybe the outer ones, we can do something with them to make them a little bit more random. Can phase them a little bit and randomize that. And it starts to look really, really nice. Just want to make sure we don't have any, like here, it's the kind of floaty. And you want to create it to 4,000, the inner leaves. Now we see here, like for instance, a very big leaf, and that we kind of want to not want to happen, right? And move the thing. Come on, and move it down again a little bit. Not too much. All right. And then now we have 4,000 particles less, but it looks better than before. And maybe what we can do is the outer leaves. Maybe we'll add a modifier that says to displace, right? Let's just look at our mesh. Oop. So new, just going in here, and we're just going to see clouds, right? And we want to make the clouds small so that there's a lot of distortion, but then the strength you want to push down, right? And maybe I want to add a subdivision level. So of course gonna be have to be applied. Modifier is disabled. Skip apply. Okay, never mind. So I want to add this before. It's just gonna ever so slightly make the leaves a little bit more random here and there. Here and there. My Dutch is showing. Yes, I want to make sure. I don't think that's necessary, but there is. It's already on use modifier stack. Yeah. All right. And we can even do is the center. No, let's keep it, because I want the possibility that from down that there might be a hole or two in here, right? It's gonna make it look that more realistic. And those branches sticking out, they don't bother me that much, although they should. Yeah, let's just select those branches and I forgot how many polys these were. Sculpt mode. And just grab them and put it back in. That's kind of fun to do, actually. Let's go around again. Okay. How's my day? I just home from school. Hey Mitchell, how you doing? Yeah, my day is great. Look how pretty our scene looks. Of course, we're not on lighting right yet, right? We kind of want to add another light. That we'll say we'll have no shadow, and we'll kind of be our second light to, like, it'll basically be our skylight, so it just comes from above. Maybe it has a shadow, but we should enable. So I want the size. I want it to have no specular because it's the skylight, right? I just want to emulate the sky. I'm just gonna grab some color here. Yeah, fine. Increase the strength. I don't know if that much actually. Oh, maybe I do. No, a bit of specular. Actually, I do want to have specular, but I kind of want to increase the size. Although I think what we kind of have to add for this. Let's go light area, put it in the middle, make it just big, and put it in 5,000 watt or something. Why is it shining from the middle? That's weird. Make the color kind of blue. Maybe I want to make the color of the moon a little bit more greenish. There we go. So that we already have kind of a tone shift going on here. Just look nice. This is not shining on anything yet, so let's make this 20,000 watt. Yeah, there we go. Disable shadows. Although, no, we just want to enable in the shadows. We want to enable soft shadows. So now this is going to be soft shadows. It's basically going to create very dark. So, but there's a problem here, and you can probably tell your live screen. No! Did my camera freeze again? Damn it. I thought this would not happen again. I need a new webcam. Okay, it's not activating at all now. Resetting it doesn't work. Cool. I think my webcam just broke. Oh well. Time for a new webcam. So, and we can already see, like, if we save this, right? Where did you get the sky? Is it an HDR or just an image? It is procedurally generated, my friend. If you want to see how it generated it, go back to the stream. But it's, if you go here, to the world setting, this is basically a node tree for our sky. It's just a procedural sky. Fancy, isn't it? All right. So I like the look of the tree a lot. It looks like a tree. It's silhouetted very nicely. And I think once we're gonna do a test render here real quickly. Because I kind of want to see how the grass looks rendered. And you can see that the render time already. I mean, this might break my stream a little bit. Oh no, everything's goes fine. Here we go. So this rendered, yeah. So you see that the shadow of the grass still needs some tweaking. That this looks like actual grass, and not like. I mean, I like the silhouette of the grass here. It's a bit too dark. And especially here, like this adds so much, the silhouette of the grass. I mean, I might just add it as a silhouette. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that, but well, it shouldn't be that hard. But the key thing here to take away is the render time. Our render time is 12 seconds. It's not real time anymore, but if we have to choose between 12 seconds of render time or an hour of render time, I will go with 12 seconds. But yeah, this looks already pretty neat, huh? This is pretty cool. Yes, so very nice, very nice. All right. But there's of course this problem. If I enable our characters, they should also look pretty sweet in this. But they look very dark in this. So these are now silhouettes, right? Because they're under the tree. And this is where most of the action will take place as well. Like if it's this close, it's just dark. So we need something to light up the underside of the tree, basically. And I thought the environment might be enough, and then we can just cheat some. Because what we're gonna do, once we start animating, we're also gonna add some extra lights, right? Just for the characters. If I enable... Where did I put that light? There we go. There we go. We are gonna add some lights for the characters that will just influence the characters, right? They will probably have a color like that will emphasize the scene. I think the rim light will be the moonlight. We're just gonna place the moonlight basically that. Make this. Yeah. And this is gonna look realistic. But the fact is, if you put this against the tree trunk, then it's not gonna look realistic anymore. So having separate character lights is all good and dandy. Just gonna open up his eyes. See how his eyes look in this. Ooh, gloomy. I guess we do want to add some neutral light as well. That's they're basically the. Also, why do we? No, that's fine. This is where fill key and rim light comes in, because we do want to add a fill light that is neutral but very weak. So we kind of get his color in here as well, right? If we just increase it a little bit. We want to make it a little color, but we kind of want to make sure that the viewer sees what colors are going on here. And these are going to be basically our character lights. But the issue is that we kind of want to see the tree trunk as well. And what I don't get is if I increase the strength. I think this has to do with how I set things up, right? So if I don't have a background color, put this on white. Why is this not? Oh, is this the surface? Is this the volume scatter? Nope. Weird. I'm just gonna save this. I'm gonna test something real quickly. If I go in rendered mode, this does influence the object, right? I'm not okay. Cool. We're going back to our look dev test. Create light inserts. I'm gonna render the. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Mitchell. It is beautiful. Lighting is everything. Lighting is life. But we're gonna render it in Eevee, because that's kind of the challenge. We want to create everything in Eevee and see how it turns out. So I don't know. I think maybe screen space reflections, bloom. That's not gonna be it. Wait, maybe it's not the indirect lighting. I mean, this, does it influence? It doesn't look like it's influencing anything. Yeah, let's put this back on 0. Create light inserts. What do you mean? What are light inserts? What are you talking about? Yeah, so at last, last option is gonna be that I create. Maybe it's just because the bottom color is so dark. No, that's not. Let's see here. Also, the volume, we can change the color. Yeah, I forgot to say that, but we can kind of create an ambience. That's a thing we can do. I think the colors of the lights already speak for themselves. So, yeah. So, okay, I guess we'll have to add some kind of. Just because I. Let's go to indirect lighting. Pick the indirect lighting again. No, nothing. I can see that the boy is a little bit lit up. Oh, so now it is working. Once I put this in. Oh, there we go. Wait, it's now suddenly working. It's only 1.5, right? Okay, I think this was because it baked the indirect lighting and it kept it there. So what we can do here is actually create another background here. And you've probably seen this before. Mix RGB. No, not mix RGB. We want to mix shader. Yes, I mix these two shaders. Right. Then we want to do input. Camera. This is where a light path. Yeah. This is where we're gonna cheat realism a bit. Is camera array. We're just gonna put it in the surface. And now it's just if the camera, if it's a camera array, it's gonna select the lower background one. Okay, what's going on? Okay, there we go. So that means if I increase the strength of this one, the sky brightens up, because everything that we see is a camera array. But if we increase the other one, everything else brightens up. And now we can ever so slightly create a basic ambient light. Or no, that's the upper one. And we don't want to make it this too bright, because otherwise it's not going to look realistic anymore. Right, so we still kind of want to have that silhouette. Right. And now, like, we can do a very quick check, for instance. Why do I have two rigs here? What do I have selected here? Oh, so this one is still here. Okay, hide that one. Hide the rigs. I want the proxy one. Yeah. Where's your base? Oh, I disabled it. Oof. There we go. So I want to do a very quick check here. So in this corner that we made, or this is where the dog's gonna be. No, this is where the boy's gonna be. Right. We can just really quickly put him here. All right. And sit him down. That's also the fun part of it, Eevee, that you can pose them in a few ports on the front. And just really quickly want to make him a little bit depressed sitting here. Really quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on posing the guy. So I'm just gonna add the eyes here. Just wanna put them down. And maybe to his eyelids a little bit. Where's the eyelids? There you go. So, and what we'll do then, getting too hung up on the pose here, but hey, what else am I supposed to do? I'm gonna go to look depth mode here for a second to tweak this. Alright. That's fine enough. And then, like before, we'll just add our lights for the character. But then the second problem is of course gonna pop up. That the light is also affecting the scene, right? For instance, if we put this here to some kind of rim light, it's gonna affect the tree as well, and not in a good way, because we can very obviously see what's going on here. This is where we have to kind of create our system to differentiate between either render layers or like render different collections at different times, but still have them influence each other, because of course we want the shadow that, or the ambient occlusion rather, that the kid is putting on the floor still be on the set. Yeah, String Fairy is pretty nice. Yeah, some good videos. Free endorsement. Yeah, just kidding. Yeah, check out his channel. So, what are ways we can do this? In our render, in our passes rather, we can make the ambient occlusion separate, right? I don't know if that actually works for Eevee. Let's check it out. Because now we're gonna focus on like making the look depth, but also having our render pipeline ready. That if we start animating and lighting and animating the lights, that everything is there. So like during animating, I don't forget anything, right? Okay, that's rendered. And compositing, I'm gonna go up here, use nodes. I'm just really quickly gonna check. So normal pass is fine. Oh, that's interesting. And the mist, I'll have to go to math and subtract from it to see if that's working. Doesn't seem to be. Or I'm missing something. What is the depth doing? Is that working? I don't know. Oh, yes, so that's working. So we do have a depth map. So we can put it there and then divide it by actually multiply. Wait. I want to multiply it by 0.1. This is divided by 10, right? Okay. Oh yeah, so we have to add it again and then divide it. So okay, our depth pulse is working, so that's nice. So we can add some custom compositing goodness to that if we want to. But yeah, that renders out nicely. But how do we? See you gets. Bye bye. I'll check out like behind the screens how to do this technically, so I can show you guys in the next, because in cycles I kind of know how to do this. So if you do move to cycles, for instance, then there is a but where does 2.8 still have that? I haven't checked. You can render out multiple. Was it ever in, or am I thinking just of 3 as what am I saying, Maya? We'll find something. Maybe there's just. Let's go to. Can we just say in the light properties, custom properties? No, shadow. Oof. So doesn't seem to be an option for that. Or it's hidden somewhere. And they're discussing it as we speak on the forums. Darn it! Oh, well. Let's see here. Because you can see how much it adds to the character, right? But I'll make it more sad. I don't know why. Of course, you can kind of fake it, like make it coming from here, and that's not too obvious on the tree. I kind of want to make it obvious because it's our main character. I kind of have a key light on him as well. And you kind of have to justify that key light as well. Like, it kind of has to make sense. It would look beautiful if I can just add a warm light, but I can't. Kind of have a neutral light here, kind of compensate for that, and then put it on 5 or something. So you can see how much it adds, and it doesn't disturb that much. But like, it still feels, especially if we increase this. Yeah, we could fake it away. Like how much it adds if those two lights weren't there. It's just flat. But by adding these two lights, it makes the character in the set jump out so much more. It looks a lot more interesting. Now let's say if we add another camera here. And let's just go to let's go to frame 1, add a marker, and then what was the marker? Blind camera to markers. Yeah, that's the camera here. I want to put this on. I want to kind of add depth of field to this one. I can also make a second look depth shot. Like if you go to 0 and then add another marker. If we zoom into this, you can actually see what's happening. So I added two markers, and because I have 2 cameras, this, if I put this in collection camera, my other camera, and marker, bind camera to markers, then I can just go in between the 2 frames, and then I can see the 2. I can even render them out, right? But camera 1 should have depth of field, and we also want to disable depth of field. And yeah, it's already enabled by default. Put an f-stop to 1.4 or something. I want to push our distance. We can just select our boy body here, and so it's 6 meters. Nice. And blades want to put on 5, so that we get these nice. You can even put a ratio. Let's keep it on 1. We don't want to create 2 fancy streaks. And now I'm wondering if it bothers that the lights are here, because you can kind of see the influence on the right of the tree here of that light. Now I'm wondering if it's, if it matters. So this is the rendered shot, so a lot more grass. I should put these on points, because now kind of looks cut off, doesn't look that good. But yeah, this might be a shot where oh, careful. I'll put it more like this. I think like an issue here is the set hill. It has a grass leaf here that's very, it's the grass tall. I'm just gonna put the seed in a way that it doesn't bother me that much anymore. And I might even decrease the length for these tall grass things. If you render again. I mean, having a render time of like 10 to 12 seconds is amazing. Like on a computer, like a random form would spit this out in 3 seconds. There we go. Very nice. This looks pretty good. I think like now it kind of shines that his eyebrows are very heavy. They're very expressive. So we might change that. Yeah, I do character changes when I'm doing look dev. What about it? Now I'm kind of wondering how it would look without grass. And if we even need the grass. Or if we can just add them in the background to the silhouette. Oh. Shouldn't render that much on stream. There we go. Oh, it's still rendering. Let's go to slot 2 by the way, because oh yeah, because this is the render button. That makes sense. I'm gonna render it again. How is everybody doing? So we have with and without grass. I think like here the grass that comes over the hill looks nice, but I think the focus, the noise is going to be less. I mean, it kind of helps as well because we have noise on top and noise on bottom, and in between it's kind of the character reads a bit stronger because it's in a clear. It's kind of, we kind of created a fake kind of, what is this music by the way? I'm listening to some very high tension music and it's making me nervous. Oh, it's the music from the Dark Crystal still, but it's when they start playing for the Skeksis. But that music is just so nerve-wracking. By the way, if you haven't watched the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance on Netflix or the Dark Crystal original movie, do that. They are so beautiful. By the way, you can just press your number buttons on your keyboard or on top here, go slot 1 and 2. Like, and if you select an empty slot and render, it'll render on that slot, and then you can very easily compare shots without having to, yeah, that the grass is clipping into his sleeve, I'm aware. That would also be something we have to fix. Whilst animating, we would have to see all the grass homes. I mean, I'm seeing so much trouble with the grass, while this grass, actually, it looks fine. We might just... Yeah, I might just leave the grass and find a way to do this on the silhouette only. Because I'm not too bothered. I mean, this, in the bigger shots, it's kind of distracting, right? If we go to this shot, then having that grass on the silhouette helps a lot more of selling the shot. But I think, although I don't even know if that's true. Yeah. It's more dark over here. Lay down. Can I make him lay down? Oh, did I not account for that? I did. Okay, good. What is paw? Oh wait, I just have to. Oh yeah, right. Flip display in front. Just to move the shoulders up. There we go. Kind of like how the tail is working out. Still doing some test poses. And now, of course, the boy becomes happy because the dog is here. Yay! Doggy dog dog. Move his eyes here. Fake it a little bit. Doesn't seem to be looking at the dog. There you go. Just have to move his head a little bit down. There we go. Just a tiny pose. Just the reason I put the dog here. I kind of want to see if we have to light the dog as well. Then, because the thing is also with moving characters, we can animate the lights, but if the light is very close to the characters, there's something I had a lot of discussions about, because a lot of people put their lights very close to their characters, but if the character then moves a little bit, it becomes a lot brighter or a lot thing. You kind of want to put your lights way off and then increase the well, not that much, because then the movement is going to be, but of course then our problem of our set being lit is going to be way bigger. I still kind of cheated. Why don't you shape keys for face animation? I don't know, it's a choice. Because the age of face the age of shape keys is over. The age of bendy bones has begun. Okay, we can even tweak our light here so that our characters actually fall within that directional light. So let's just say that the yeah, but you can see here that kind of the floor is lit a lot, so I kind of want to have the light in a position where it makes sense, right? There you go. So, like, and if you have the shot from here, yeah, this doesn't make sense and it's going to distract. But if your shot is from here and you don't see the rest of the shot, then it doesn't bother that much. I mean, you can see the specular here running around. It's kind of troublesome. How did you... Okay, I've asked some questions in the chat. How did you learn shaders and texture? I really can't make a mountain texture. Every YouTube tutorial is so weird and clunky. And then 2.7. Did you learn it by yourself or YouTube? Both. And by working in a animation studio. Thanks for the compliment, by the way. Are you gonna have voices for the boy or just sound effects? Like walking and breathing? Well, yeah, he doesn't talk in the short, so no voice acting. Because I don't have a very good boy voice. But yeah, no, it's just gonna be yeah, it's just gonna be them interacting with their body, their expressions, which are gonna be super great. I mean, I think the eyebrows, I think I'm at this point kind of regretting making the eyebrows so so dense. Of course, this is easy fixable by going into the scene, into our boy. So now I'm back into the boy refine file, right? And if you just go to the boy here, or the girl, doesn't matter. There's people who believe it's a girl. It's a gender neutral Little lost kid. I mean, kids even like, because we had some discussions at the beginning, like female features, or well, like even with friends, like female or male features. But I think for a kid, you can't really tell the difference. I think that's why a lot of children like sometimes get confused for boys or girls if they have long hair or short hair, but you can't really make the difference. Like I had this with Stranger Things in the first season, where they made it really clear that Eleven is a girl. But when I looked at her, although I think the first character who meets her thinks she's a boy, I'm not sure about that. But ooh. I just want to decrease this a little bit, right? I mean, that was already too much. Oh. And maybe I just want this to be a little bit closer to the body, that this one doesn't really stick out that much. No, but back to the question, by the way, to the learning part. This is still, yeah, okay. So now if I save this, and I go in here, and I reload the scene, I still want to know if there's a button. I haven't found anything. If there's a button to reload assets, or reload links. Fine. And then we go into here. And normally this should be adjusted. Hello? Why didn't you adjust yourself? Explain yourself. If I had a kid photo, I would gladly record audio for free, just for experience. Keep that in mind if I need a voice for somebody who is more your age. Okay, I don't know why this is not working. It should work. Maybe it is working. I'm just, yeah, I think it worked. It's just, oh, what's happening? Very calming expression. Also, characters, if they look down, the upper eyelids move down as well, right? To reflex. The eyelids tend to follow the eyeball. There's some rigs out there I've seen that if you if you move the eyeball, the eyelids kind of move with them. So if I ask too much, it's okay. You can ask as much as you want. What GPU do you have? I have a MSI, yeah, an MSI GeForce GTX 970, which desperately needs upgrading. Because, holy smokes, it's bad. It's just cleaning up. I mean, there's a lot of clipping here, but just wanted to convey, right? Too many distractions. Yeah, so I kind of want to upgrade to a 2070 graphics card, but I'm not sure which one yet, and I'm kind of waiting. I'm kind of procrastinating buying a new machine, because this one still works fine, right? I don't think I tried to blame my computer for having not working enough, but you should be able to, if you have like a decent computer, you should be able to work. But I would say don't focus on that too much. I would say like try creating stuff. I mean, I had a challenge once to create an artwork with only using 64 vertices. With more, I don't know, what, like 128 vertices. It was like an integer of 2. And I think like out came, yeah, I don't know where that is, but I can show you something equally from my art station here. So if you go to my art station, which I'm not saying everybody should do, but like this, yeah, no, this was for the weekly CD challenge when I was still in. So if you don't know the weekly CD challenge, by the way, I have to plug it as well. So I made this for the weekly CD challenge, and it's just a bunch of cubes, right? But it's cubes with, I try to have the least amount of things added to that to convey that this is Star Wars. I think I kind of failed on Obi-Wan here. It kind of looks weird. And I think R2-D2 could have like used some work, but I think the rest worked out fine. Like, and just making low poly art can be very satisfying. But I made this for the weekly CG challenge, by the way, which is now the CG Boost challenge. So if you haven't checked that out yet, I do urge you to do that. The CG Boost you can find on Facebook if you just go CG Boost, or you go to cgboost.com. Yes, if you go to cgboost.com, you can enter the challenge. It's a monthly challenge now, where you can enter and win cool prizes. And also, Zacharias gives a lot of cool tutorials on that website. So if you want to check that out, it's a very, very cool challenge. And I'm actually one of the what's it called? Jurors. I'm one of the people criticizing that. I'm saving up for RTX 2080, but I have a long way to go. Yeah, well, prioritization is important. So now we can switch between our cameras here by just pressing left or right. So that's very nice. So if we go here and here, we have two nice shots. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with how this is looking. What else rests us to do? So what we can do now is, I mean, because we're just looking at colors and lighting here and how this looks, right? And what we can do here already is render these out and save these. But before we do that, we kind of want to already have some compositing done as well. We want to have these shots as beautiful as possible before we before we send them out, let's say. So what else? The only thing I kind of want to add here is some color correction. Oof, not that note, the color balance. Thank you very much. And with that one, we can just adjust the image ever so slightly. Oh, come on. Yeah, composite. So this goes into the viewer, and this should go in composite. Yeah. So I'm going to go to my zoom here, and I'm going to zoom a little bit out so I can see the entire image here, and maybe even kind of move this up. So then I don't want my dope sheet here, so I'm just gonna move this away, and maybe we can zoom in a little bit again. All right. So we want to do the simple things. So we have a lift gamma save here, which is basically just where we can lift the image with a certain color, we can adjust the gamma with a certain color, and we can increase the gain with a certain color. This almost translates to what's it called? The shadows, mids, and high tones. The only thing I want to do is kind of get some blue in the lift. If you press shift, it's ever so slightly. You don't want to do this by much. And in the gain, we want to add some warmth again, but by a lot more apparently. So yeah. So you can see if I kind of push this all the way here, then our scene becomes neutral again. But we don't kind of want to do that because we kind of want to keep the warm tones here. I'm just going to check what the gamma is going to do if I push it a bit farther. Because there's a lot of people, if they start grading, they kind of push it a little bit too far. I kind of want to keep things subtle. Maybe even push this a little bit. Don't want to crush the blacks. Maybe even brighten it up a little bit. Just gonna see what this looks like on the. Yeah, no. We can still see we have some artifacts on the character now. Just notice. I'm just gonna add a new one. Because in showing what everything does, it kind of. There we go. So. Just want to lift, however, goes slightly to the blue. And then our key here to orange. Maybe overdo that a little bit. And then see a little bit of change. Right. I do want to add a color curves as well, because I'm more kind of feel more comfortable working with that. Can add a little bit of contrast here. So we see that our values are actually pretty dark. We do have a, or we had, where's our, there used to be a color, what's it called? Oh, no question. Do you know Ninjago? Yes. Yeah, the Lego Ninjago movie, right? The Lego movies are insanely good. The things they do creatively with those amaze me. I think I prefer the Batman movie more, but that's because I'm biased. Like, oh, film like. What does that do? I might be biased a little bit. I want to bring reds back to the highlight. These curves do act kind of strange if you compare them to other curves. Because it's like normally they should bring up the highlights, but like having some sort of overlay of which color this is, because now I'm doing this all by feel, right? And I was actually looking for a cologram, what's it called? A spectrogram, that's the thing. But they kind of removed it, I think. Aww. Okay, I wonder if I change the gain here. Yeah, it becomes a little bit brighter. That's nicer. What else do we have here? Toe map. What? No, I don't want to do that. Well, that's interesting. Might look into that. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with the curves, like, because we also have the curves here, right, in our color management. You know, you can still add the exposure here and the gamma. You can also use curves here, but as far as I can see, it does the exact same thing. But this should be 50% gray, right? And if I push that up, then everything that is 50%, how do I translate? Everything that is 25% gray will be pushed to 50%. So our darkest values go up, and everything that's 50% gray goes to 75%, right? So the logic is that if you pull this down, everything that is in the darker half becomes a little bit darker, and everything that's in a lighter house going a little bit lighter. But the thing is, if I keep pushing this, the image becomes darker, and only the brightest highlights. So I'm kind of wondering how this interprets the footage, and I think like it's not linear. Of course, we could do that if we want to make this display device none. Then we can, yeah. So I think that's what's going on. I think the RGB curves interpret the image as a linear image, and then just spit it out again linear, and then only in the viewer it is translated to sRGB, which is annoying to say the least. Because I cannot, because I want this to affect the outputted image and not a linear image. And I don't know if there's a color converter in here. View switch. Oh no, this is for stereo. Because now this makes sense, right? Now if we try to match the image that we had and actually output this, of course our colors are not going to be super correct. We're basically creating our own view transform or lookup table basically. But we don't want to do that for reasons. I still wonder what the sequencer is. Blender sequencer. What is a sequencer? Because it says that the sequencer can work on linear aces, right? Which is also a very nice lookup table, but I'm kind of wondering, this is the output for in which device and then which lookup table, but let's go to medium contrast. Maybe let's go to none, right? We get our image back. Let me just play around with these settings. Because what I see a lot of people doing is actually filtering out highlights and stuff with just values that they arbitrarily choose somewhere here. But I want the color to make sense, right? But it doesn't seem to be anything for it here. No. That's no Wrangler. Because there used to be, I'm fairly sure, where is the spectrograph? Is the spectrograph? Spectrograph? No, that's obtaining astronomical spectra. Colograph. What am I looking for? Colograph? No. Colography was introduced in 1955 by Glenn Alps and its printmaking process in which materials... Yeah, okay. No. So let's see here. This is kind of working now. Kind of... The thing is, like, the only thing that seems to be able to do here is choose which color should be present or not. Okay, so now we go from this to this, which already kind of improves the image a bit. I think like the only thing is I kind of went overboard with this because it now kind of looks like an Instagram filter. But we kind of want to to have that darkness in here. And then keep the blue up with the green in the dark areas. May reduce the green? No, definitely wants some green in there. Just playing around. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, we're kind of approaching the end of the stream here. So we're gonna do the easy thing. Or what I see other people always doing. Because there's many ways to do this, of course. What am I in the converter for? What does the color corrector do? What? So we can increase the saturation of the highlights only. Or in the shadows. But everything is shadows apparently. According to this. So you kind of see the problem here. Yeah, what I mean, and I will find a solution for it. If I brighten up the midtones and darken up the shadows, these are the midtones according to, and this is because, and the view transform won't make a difference. If I go to none, it will pick out the same areas, right? If I go to 20, like, no, forest, okay. There's no highlights. I can lift it up just to make very obvious what I mean on the contrast. So the problem is these are the midtones, and it's the midtones from the linear color correction, which kind of makes sense because you want to color correct on the linear, but you want to be able to color pick that. You kind of want to be, so it kind of forces us to render the shot. If you go back to shading, to render the shot in linear. So this is now linear, and you see it's very dark, right? So now we can increase the strength of the sky, increase the strength of our ambience here, and then we just do it that way. Oh. This should be 500 watts. No, not much. No, come here. Go to 50. There we go. And there's one more light here. We can put that on 30, maybe 40. Right, so now if you render that one out. Yeah, let's create a beautiful image before we log off here. Hey Rogerio. Yeah, thanks. No problem. So now if you go back to compositing, we see that there's a lot more midtones here, right? So now we can, if I go to the, if I add a hello, and I think this is also because I'm just used to like working in a color space that I see. So now this will make a lot more sense. The problem is now we're kind of making our own lookup table. Again, and the reds, can highlight them a bit more. Yeah, so look, now our influence here is a lot greater, a lot more control over that. And then, for instance, the blues should make the shadows darker. I'm just overdoing it now, but now I can go from something like this to pushing it a little. Right. So yeah. But yeah, the basic idea is that we can do this in real time. This is our shot currently looks. We still have a lot of work to do because I still want to have this a lot nicer. Because it might already look a little bit sweet and stuff. For instance, add another ooh. I don't see what I'm doing there. Come on, let's make the sun. What's happening? Yeah, create one that just shines on the hillside here. So you kind of have a silhouette more going on. Make that very light. That might already improve some of the. Just go like this. Maybe, who knows? Specular might be a bit strong. Turned off. Now we'll see. Anyway, I have some people to thank. So I'm just gonna really quickly. Oof. Yes. Okay. So, sorry that took a while. I have. Where did it go? Where did my texting go? All right. We'll do it live. So I want to thank Gamma and Rule, and I want to personally thank Taylor Brown for supporting me on Patreon. Thank you so much, Taylor Brown. Do remember there's some perks on the Patreon on the link down below. There is a perk where I can give you personal guidance over your artwork if you're interested in that. But as always, like and subscribe to the video if you liked the video. Yeah, and tune in Wednesday for the next stream. Hope you liked the stream, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching, everybody.